If someone's using RDS, what should you consider when you're looking to optimize performance of your RDS instances?
Yeah, I think the first one is really having a look at the instance type. So, as well as the instance size, you have instance classes as well. So, it's two really big areas to look at. So, the instance size obviously governs really how big that instance is, and the class governs like the split. So, for example, if you're running a T class instance, then they tend to be the smallest ones. They have things that are known as burstable, which means for short periods of time, if you suddenly hit it, you get a really big query, something like that. They can expand up a little bit, you get a bit more performance. But if you were to run it flat all the time, you'd run out of balance. And effectively, then that performance would be throttled. Another option is you have the M class, which is effectively like your general purpose like class. There you get a good balance of CPU and memory. You also have memory optimized, CPU optimized classes, and even in some cases, ultra high performance classes. It really helps to understand your workload. If you're running a lot more of your queries in memory, if you're using a lot of database buffer cache, for example, and using a lot of repeat queries, then you may want to have a larger memory instance versus CPU, because that would probably work better for you. And then you need to size it appropriately. Sizing is always a bit tricky because, as most people probably know, instance sizes in AWS effectively double with each one. So a 2XL is twice as large as an XL. And this can actually make it quite difficult. If you're running, say, I don't know, 45%, see, could you get away with going down an instance size? Because in theory, then you might be running at 90%. Is 90 too hot or is 45 wasteful? And that's really a lot of that's going to come down to what you need, like how much risk you're prepared to take as a business and really what your cost versus like reward, like risk versus reward or metrics are. You could risk, as I say, you could risk making that instant class smaller and taking a potential small performance hit with the knowledge that you can always scale back up again if you need to. I think that is something that's important when you're looking at the cloud is how easy it is to make those changes. So it's quite simple to make changes up and back down again with a short amount of downtime, which is important. None of these things are instant. If you want to talk about that, then you need to start looking at replication between instance types. But in general, making changes to instance classes, especially if you stay, sorry, to instance sizes, if you stay within the same instance class, that tends to be quite a quick change because of how AWS manages that under the hood.